on the issue of health care. Of course, it's his signature promise to repeal Obamacare. He has challenged the Congress to vote, but we have just learned that he has now asked Congress to pull the bill. I want to go straight to our White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega. Cecilia, the news came in a phone call from President Trump to Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, just a short while ago.
Just a short while ago, George, and what a day it has been here at the White House. It started with a surprise visit from Speaker Ryan that here in the Oval Office that lasted about an hour and 20 minutes as that meeting was going on. Press Secretary Sean Spicer was briefing the press, now saying that they still had confidence in everything that the president had done to get the bill as far as they had. But as we now know, it's not succeeding. The president has called Paul Ryan and asked him to pull the bill. There was expected to be a vote on the House floor at around 3:30 today, a few minutes ago. Obviously, that is now not happening. This is all just coming down. The White House has been very adamant about how hard the president worked to get this through, meeting with 120 lawmakers, they said today. But George, as you know, I mean, this is the president's signature campaign promise, repealing and replacing Obamacare. He campaigned as the negotiator in chief, the man who would see an easy repeal through here if he was elected. But George, this is a huge scar on his agenda going forward.
Working hard to close the deal over the last 48 hours, bringing members of Congress in, but all through this day, the no votes appear to continue to climb. I'm joined on the phone by our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl. The question now, John, how does he recover from this?
George, this is devastating. It's devastating not just because it's a big defeat on his first big legislative test, a big defeat on a campaign promise he repeated over and over again, but it gets right to the heart of the president's brand. As Cecilia mentioned, the negotiator in chief, he is the master of the art of the deal. He is the one that can close the deal. And in this case, he just couldn't do it. And the reason why they're pulling this, George, instead of going through the vote, the president said he wanted to vote. He called the bluff of the Republicans that were still unwilling to commit. He wanted to vote. The reason why they're pulling this is you know what happens when you get to a big, tough vote in Congress. If it's not going to pass, all of those who would reluctantly go on to show support for the president see it's going to fail anyway, they were going to vote no. This was headed not just towards a defeat, but towards a landslide.
What a crushing defeat. I think that's exactly right, Jonathan Karl. Right now, the votes are not there for President Trump's signature promise there on repealing Obamacare. I want to go to Capitol Hill right now. Our congressional correspondent, Mary Bruce, is there. And Mary, right now, the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, has just called all Republicans in for an emergency meeting.
George, I just came up from the basement of the Capitol. Republican members are streaming into that emergency meeting. I'm right off of the floor. They have been here debating this bill for the last 3+ hours, a bill that the president has now asked the speaker to pull off the floor. It has been a frantic scramble for the last 24 hours to push this bill across the finish line. But despite all of the late night negotiations, the huddles in the speaker's office, and of course the president's personal pitches, it seems they simply do not have the support to get this done. It comes after we've seen those ultra-conservative Freedom Caucus members voice increasing concern, saying that despite all of the back and forth, the bill simply would not go far enough for them. Of course, all those concessions offered to the ultra-conservatives then angered and frustrated a lot of the moderates. That seesaw and stuck in between the House Speaker. Today, it's very clear he simply was not able to find a balance between his members to get this done.
Okay, Mary, thanks. 64 days into his presidency, President Trump, a major retreat on the issue of health care. We're going to stay on top of it all afternoon long. Full wrap-up tonight on World News Tonight. We'll be right back.